Hi guys, Jamie Pate here. Welcome to part 2 memory planner walkthrough for 2021. If you haven't seen part 1, it's linked below. It is not a prerequisite to watching this walkthrough video. However, there is a lot of information in there, and a lot of the comments and questions and engagement you all have shared with me since I did that video has helped me now to kind of share some things in this video today. So I hope I do cover some things that you have asked about and were curious about. I have a lot to share with you, and let's have some fun. Okay, one of the things I had to share with you that was just such a joy to me when I heard it, I had somebody ask about journaling flippy things. I just love that phrase. So that will be our phrase of the day, journaling flippy things. This part 2 is going to cover April and May 2021. Please forgive me. A whole lot has been happening these last couple weeks, but I don't think we have covered March 29 to April 4, basically because the page wasn't done yet when I was recording part 1. So we're going to jump in here. What do you do if you don't have anything to put in your planner? So let me just do a really quick, 30-second disclaimer here. If you don't feel a compulsion to keep a memory planner, if you're just feeling pressure because you see your friends or you see anyone else doing a memory planner, don't feel like you have to do a memory planner. There's no reason for that kind of silly stuff. Quit talking silly. That's silliness. No, seriously. Don't. Then don't. That's not your vibe. Don't do something that's not your vibe. This is for the believers out there. This is for those of you who want to do this, who really are intrigued by the whole concept. And I don't want to take too much time on that. You're going to know if this is something for you. So in the meantime, I'm just going to walk through all the things, and you're going to see there's nothing special to these pages. I just write down a lot of random stuff. So the today, it was a sample that I did for ScrapbookCom. This is their skinny alpha dies, and it takes up a lot of space. It's almost a full 3 inches of actually 2 inches of the day space. This journal tag here is from the March Stop the Blur kit. It's no longer available. It's a subscription-based kit, but you're going to see how I use them over and over again. I stamped them, a day stamp that was part of that kit, then wrote a quote on it and some notes underneath, and that's how that went. Here is a cutout. It's what I call cutaway paper. This is Maggie Holmes' garden party, and I just cut a little tag from it, added a photo of my kid and I as he's walking out the door for school. The Let Me Overthink It is from the, I believe, April Stamp the Blur printable. That is part of the stamp. Did I say Stamp the Blur? Well, sometimes I feel like that's exactly what I'm doing, is stamping the blur. No, actually, it's Stop the Blur. Don't let anyone tell you anything differently. I think that's from the April Stop the Blur kit. It's printable. Here is a screenshot from Instagram. It's a class I'm part of. So here is a shameless blurb for a class over at ScrapbookCom. Free if you have an account there. And I took a screenshot. I think it had dropped this day. And so hop over there and go check your class for free and say hi. There's a place where you can comment. Please say hi. Stamp Society subscription stamp. This was back in April, and stamped that. I just wrote some notes from the day in there. And then this is some more pattern paper. I think I just picked this up at either Michael's or Joann's. This was a text from a friend, a short conversation between a friend and I that I wanted to keep. So I put it in there and I gave it a little journal flippy thing to cover it up. And one of the stickers from the March Stamp the Blur kit. We call these month stamps. They're so nice. We named them 3 times. April, April, April. And so that's the April stamp because it's April 1st. There's another stamp from that set, and then just bullet points from what was going on that day. I very often take pictures of my workspace, and it's a mess. It's a picture of a mess. Nothing fancy there at all. This blessed is from the March month stamps. Now, these month stamps are always in the shop. They might sell out. Please click notify me if you're interested. I return to these month stamp very, very often. What I wrote here was just that I chatted with a friend and just kind of the gist of that phone call and kind of an update on what my walking situation was that week and some notes that I was making. This here is a Studio Calico label, and here's what's left of one of mine. And then I just used Speckled Egg, which happens to go very beautifully with this green banner. And I colored it, and you can kind of see how it softened the whole thing up. I thought that was kind of fun. So I just wrote work, 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 because that's kind of what my life is right now. It's just work, work, work. I cannot find this stamp set to save my life right now, but that's Work Hard and Be Kind. And if I find it, I will link it. And that's that page or day. A photo of my daughter, just some notes on the day, like even 7 o'clock at Walmart. Like who cares? I know nobody cares about that, but I care about that because it's Walmart. And it's a Saturday before a holiday. And so being there at 7 o'clock was really important to me. This is another one of these journal spots. And it is also has a fold again. And I have a response to a text that one of my misbehaved children had sent me. And this was my response because it was such a good response. I didn't want to forget it. So I wrote it down. And then the width on the day space is about 6 inches wide, which I was so happy for because I was able to get this great picture of my family on this page and made another journaling flippy thing with notes from the day. Let's move on to April 5 through 11. I got into the groove here of using the month stamp and in particular like this middle size month. And then what came out just this month was this calendar numbers. And it took me a minute to kind of figure those out. And then I'm like, oh, they're already together. You don't have to do anything but just stamp. It's like pure genius. So what is going on Monday? Another stamp set. Are you seeing a theme here? I have the stamp set. I love this stamp set. I think it's currently sold out at the HeidiSwappShop.com. But again, notify because this is a great stamp set and I use it quite a bit in my planner. So that's the plan. And I wrote the plan and I reminded myself of the plan on the April journal spot to stay focused. On Sundays, when I'm really good about it, I post a quote on my Instagram feed, and that is what I did here on Sunday again. But I'm printing them and trying to include them on my pages. And then 10 days to the wedding. So this was wedding month. This stamp here, this AM, is super sweet. It's from the May. I kind of had gone back and needed to work on some of these pages. So I'm not actually sure. There it is. I'm sure. There's the stamp set there. Has an AM and a PM, morning, evening, night, afternoon. And so there's AM there, PM there, just a little solid cardstock spot that I made. Again, with taking pictures of what I'm working on. I guess I do that quite a bit. So that's just another thing that's kind of documented here. I left it pretty long. It became something that needed to flip up because of the things I had here underneath. More coffee, more workspace. I love it. To me, that's documentation. I know exactly what that coffee was. It was some my daughter had bought for me for my birthday. I know exactly what I'm working on there. I know what that is. So I do that a lot, and you can do that too. This was part of the April kit, and it was supposed to be these little journal cards that then slid into this frame. But this was, like I told you, the week for the wedding. My daughter was just, bless her heart. I love this picture so much. She just came home and laid on the table. Yes, that's how we were feeling. And so I just used washi and covered up my little "You Are Made of Magic," which I thought was really funny, and wrote my notes on the back of that. And it's just fun. It's just a fun, interactive, if I can get it back in here, little inserty thing on my planner page. And I love how that worked out. Okay, if you were to look at this Thursday just all by itself, all it would be is just journaling, some bullet points, which I do quite regularly. Now, the stencil, the third stencil that goes along with this, it actually has those boxes, has gone missing. as has one of my stamps. And apparently one of my stamp sets, right? Not unusual for this space. But the point is, I just have notes, bullet points of what was going on Thursday, April 8th, and then I wrote some things out as well. I'll do that quite often. Over here, we have a flippy thing again, big journal cutaway from Storyline Chapters pattern paper. I attached my photo to it. Happened to be doing pieces of us with Allie Edwards, or at least trying to. I was kind of pretending I was doing it because I really wasn't keeping up on the week, and I'm okay with that. I took 5 pictures and I love it. And I have great storytelling from those 5 pictures. And I wrote some notes about pieces of us, and I had some other notes here. I really hacked a sticker, but I wanted that U to show through. So that's why that looks like that. And then just added some flowers underneath it. More Storyline Chapters, journal spot with a couple notes there. More boxes and bullet point journaling, written out journaling. And yet again, something I'm working on. That was an art journal page that I do very often on Sundays. It's one of my reset things I do on Sunday. My daughter happened to be with me. It was the last Sunday she was home before she would be married and moving out of our home. And again, with a note to self, there are so many of these. This one I actually left fully in, not cut, not bent, just actual journal spot, and then some additional notes. Another thing I want to point out to you is that the washi tape, very often I'll do washi tape and kind of treat them as kind of like photo corners. All right, this was something I wanted to be sure to share with you, is a page that is undone, but has a whole lot of documentation on it already. And when I'm ready to get to it, I will happily get to it and take my time and enjoy the process. In the meantime, it's just here marking this week, and I'm absolutely fine with that. And you can do the same thing too. Now, you do it too many times, you get frustrated because you feel like you're behind. And that's not really the goal, right? The goal is to document. The goal isn't even to fill up a whole page. The goal is to put in there what you want to put in there. And I'll get to this when I'm able to get to it and enjoy that. In the meantime, we're at the end of April here, and something I didn't like, but I'm keeping it in here, these flippy things that go this way. I don't like how they worked out. It's too much, but I had a lot to tell here, and you can tell. I mean, I got notes here, I have notes here, I have notes here. I write a lot of notes. I write a lot of quotes. I read a lot of books. I have a lot of conversations. So I hope some of this is helpful to you. For me, is so much I just want to share with you guys that you can write down. And while right now you might not think something from work is significant, if it's a problem that you're working through, you're going to probably find the solution somewhere else in your memory planner that you wrote down, which is one of the things I do find. So this was week after the wedding, had a whole lot of resetting going on. Yes, another picture of my coffee and my workspace. I don't know, I just like it. Now, this workspace was brand new because I was getting ready to move into this new space I'm in right now. And not a very exciting day right there, but it's documented nonetheless. Sometimes I use stickers just to kind of take up space. Real candid shot of some of my kids. And this time that journal spot, but you can't see the note to self. I covered it up. Here is an element I've been using almost every Friday, and that is a journal spot from some scrapbook stash, and my photos attached to it with notes underneath. I made a mistake here. This is a fun set. This is from Studio Calico. It's this coffee set. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I like coffee. Did you know that I like coffee? If you didn't know, I'm telling you now. And so I made a mistake when I put it on the page and decided I needed to now cover up my mistake. So I printed it on cardstock and laid it down on there. I use here a Paisley Press template to add in these prom pictures of my daughter because I wanted a little collage page, and there's some notes there underneath. Here's another example of using that April Stop the Blur little slidey aspect. This photo was too bright for my whole page. This is a place where I was trying to keep the color scheme fairly uniform, so I just covered it with vellum to soften it up, and I wrote notes on the back, and I have this additional little interactive piece right here, and I'm loving it. So this took up a lot of Saturday and Sunday, which I'm completely fine with. And so I just left me a little space here to write a couple of notes on Sunday. Super happy with how that turned out. What do we have here? April 26th through 30. I went ahead and did the whole week basically on this page, and I kind of started May here. This is part of the May Stamp the Blur. I think I showed this to you. Kit, and after between the 15th and the 15th it's available, although I think these kits are about to be sold out and new additional kits will be made available in August. That is my understanding. So this had such a beautiful color palette, and it was really led by the washi tape that I kind of went with that and kind of broke some of my rules for my color scheme. But a quote that I printed from my stories, journaling the day and what I'm up to, painting in process of my studio, notes about my kids, my son's home again for e-learning, documented that. Another quote, of course this one, crafting's vital for survival. Dinosaurs didn't craft, look how they turned out. Yes, more coffee. And what's on my desk? A card I made for Heidi because that was her birthday. It's National Scrapbook Weekend. I just kind of took over the whole weekend for some notes about that. This is May, super bright because again, I kind of changed it up a little bit and just wanted to pop some of the colors. This is actually from April, but I just wanted to kind of just stay true to this washi and pull the blues in and pull the greenish hues in and make way for pinks. And so that is what you're seeing there. I want to point out this pocket because the photos that I wanted to print and have from Mother's Day that both my kids posted and then I posted of my mom and my sister and I wasn't vibing with it here. So I made a pocket. Another color that goes really well with this banner, in case you're interested, is Tattered Rose. Love how Tattered Rose goes with this. And this is a good example where I did use the Stamp the Blur class printable, where I printed this and cut it out. This is from that, as well as In Progress and Fresh Start. And whereas a lot of times I don't use the printables, just sometimes I do use the printables because they're working perfect for me. Time Flies was from the actual kit. And this is just cardstock from Carefree with Carefree washi and another piece of Carefree washi, another piece of Carefree washi. That's one thing you guys might be noticing on my pages too, is how I keep elements congruent because you'll see them on both pages. You're going to see this color on both pages. Here's a lot of pictures using a template, but then here's Sunday. If you take a look at Sunday, that's all that Sunday is, and that's all it's going to be. And it's just notes. And just one more example. This was an old envelope. Emerson Lane. There, it came to me just like that. That's from Emerson Lane. Literally, it was laying in some stash here in my space, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go with that color. I'm going to use that mint from the kit. I'm going to pop in a whole bunch of flippable thingies and make notes because she has lots of notes from this week. I'm going to use colored pencils to color in my boxes. And that's like a speedy walkthrough, part 2, April, May 2021 in my memory planner. Woo! Please subscribe if you don't already. Please ask me whatever questions you may have, and I will see you in the next video.